Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nightmare Road. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Decon TSS, and I, of course, am here with another TSS, Laura Slasher.
Jeez.
Can you tell the people here what TSS stands for?
I think I remember you saying it. The slut shamer.
Yeah, that was a childhood nickname that I had.
Oh, true.
So whenever I would run after the ice cream truck, I would book it, and everybody would just cheer because they're like, he's gonna catch up to because the ice cream man, right? He was just like, watch how fast I can make these kids run. He's like, and he's like going.
Mhm.
And I'm just chasing them. Everybody's like, TSS, TSS, T.
The whole street was just
Yeah, the whole street.
cheering you on.
The parents would come out, like TSS.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was this whole
it's a
thing.
normal childhood for
Yeah,
everyone.
this was like 1996. You're never gonna guess how old I was.
You were 44, I think.
I was 44.
Yeah, I figured. I don't know how.
Well, anyway, so what's today's episode on? Stop being
Um,
ridiculous. This is a serious show.
Slenderman.
Slender Man.
Somebody got
Oh.
stabbed.
Oh shit. So I was gonna say, like, Slender Man, like the giant, like, tall, bald guy with the suit that looks like like they made this Mormon missionary like in a lab and he just let him go.
Yeah, you want to see him?
Yeah, sure. Let me see it. Oh, there he is. He's got a name tag. He's Elder Bald.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is just one of many pictures, but yeah, basically faceless, very tall, very slender.
Oh, hence the name.
Mhm. Hangs out, I guess, like in the woods and takes kids.
What's the story behind that?
It was a creepy pasta. So like apparently it's just like this tall man thing that hangs out around kids. Kids go missing, but they don't know, if it's like bad or if it's like that he's friends with these kids,
He's gonna take you to a mansion.
to a mansion in the middle of the woods. That's what they believed.
Yeah, I was kind of like trying to look at some pictures of Slender Man, and there's a picture where it supposedly was like this picture was taken, in 1901, and you could clearly see Slender Man back there. I was like, wow.
Yeah, in 1901 with an iPhone.
Yeah, with an iPhone.
Um,
Like the Mike Tyson fight when that person had the iPhone in the crowd.
yeah, like that.
Traveler.
Did
you see the Jake Paul fight?
Huh?
Did you see the Jake Paul fight?
I saw highlights.
That's so crazy.
It was gross.
Yeah, he looked like he got attacked by Slender Man at the end.
He was very bloody.
Yeah, he was pretty shitty. And then it got worse because he went to the hospital and they filmed him at the hospital.
Yep. He posted it on TikTok, I think. Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of money.
Yeah, they did. They did make a lot of money. Slender Man money.
Yep. So back to the stabbing.
So that's Slender Man. That was fuck. I can't believe he ate that punch. That I'm like, damn, that's like boxing 101. Just get out of the way.
His teeth were not good. Not good.
They look like in a Blackfoot, a truck went and like hit the side of the highway and like bent one of the posts like inward. That's what his mouth looked like. So yeah, so Slender Man, was a creepy pasta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it. And then creepy pasta, what is that? Like it stood for like copy and paste, I guess. Like right?
It was. I don't even know. It was just like a bunch of scary stories, I guess, like that people would put up. It was very like I guess creepy, things.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like on Reddit or if it was like a website of its own, but yeah, that's where it kind of like originated, this whole Slenderman thing. It was just a lot, and so it was a bunch of kids that were scared of it or I guess like wanted to be a part of it. His life, I have no idea.
Yeah, so weird. Okay, so let's see. So we have 3 girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did they all believe in the Slender Man, or was it just the 2?
No, it was just the 2. So how it started was the one that got stabbed. Her name was Peyton, or is Peyton. She survived. Her name's Peyton, and she had seen this little girl, Morgan. She had seen her sitting by herself, and she kind of like went over there and was like, "Hey, can I sit down?" They started talking, became best friends, all that, right? A couple years later, the other little girl, I think, like moves to their town, and she's like the new girl at the school, and kind of like was part of their little
The
group
group.
or whatever. That's Anissa, the second one. So Anissa and Megan, I want to make sure her name's right. Morgan.
Yeah. So there's one of them looks like a regular little girl. The other one looks fucking bizarre.
So, I mean, they both. I don't know.
They both look. It's the glasses. Like whenever you see somebody with glasses, like whenever like in public, and I see somebody, I'm like, that fucking person can't see that well. So then I just like turn around. And I kind of like I don't just like immediately turn around. I kind of back away a little bit, and then I slightly turn and I leave because they're bad vision. They can't like see like how close I am, because also like if you move slowly, like your Drax, you're invisible to people with glasses.
Yeah, you just can't trust them. So
I can't.
No, of course not. So the one named Morgan, she's the one that was friends with Peyton first. So Morgan and Anissa ended up becoming, I guess, better friends, and they kind of like were pushing Peyton out like to the side because they were both into the like horror, creepy, all that.
Yeah, they're fucking weird.
And Peyton was not. She didn't really care for it. It would scare her. She was more into like little girl stuff, like dolls and all that,
And they were 12, right?
At this point, they were 11 or 12. I think they were 11 when they met, and then 12 when it all happened.
Okay.
Yeah. They end up, I guess, like Peyton had tried to leave, the friend group a couple times, and apparently Morgan had convinced her to stay and like, I don't know, I guess like we'll include you more or whatever it was that happened. And then Morgan's birthday comes. And at that point, I think that the little girl, like Peyton, was she was okay with them. From what I've read, Anissa, which is the newest one, didn't like her because she kind of wanted Morgan like all to herself. What kind of weird, but bizarre. That's So they go to her birthday party, and it's just like a slumber party. In the interrogation, they talk about, like what they did before they got to Morgan's house, and they went to, what was it called, like Skateland or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was ice skating or like roller skating, but
I think it was like, it wasn't like as an outdoor thing. No, it was indoors.
Indoor,
it was
like
roller skating.
Yeah, I think it was roller skating. So they went there. I believe this picture is from that day. I'm not 100% sure. But not that one.
I was gonna say, like, wow, they're all,
well, kind of. This one.
That's so sad. Look how happy she is.
Like, they're so small. So the first one here is Peyton. The one in the middle is Morgan, and the last one is Anissa.
Fucking creeps.
They're so small.
They're tiny. Look at that one eating the popsicle. She kind of looks like Napoleon Dynamite's brother.
Kip?
Yeah, she kind of looks like Kip. I'm expecting her. What do you mean? They have the same fucking haircut. What are you talking about?
The same haircut?
They have the same haircut.
I think you're talking about the uncle.
No, not Uncle Rico. Uncle Rico's badass.
Kip has short hair.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't know that girl's hair was like dragging.
I mean, like
the skating rink.
I mean, like, short. So yeah, they did that. They said they ate frozen yogurt. Like little kid thing. What?
She looks like like when a kid introduces you like to his mom, and you go over there and it's like, oh, and this is mom's friend, like ever since dad left, she's been keeping her company, and she shows up and she's got the flannel with like the cut off sleeves, and she's like, hey, how you doing, buddy?
I mean, it's another picture of them.
Yeah, definitely. Jeez. And that one just looks like she'll just stare at you. Like if you wake up at night and you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then she's just standing there, just staring at you with those glasses. And then you're like, fuck, if I don't move If I just slowly scoot to the side, she won't be able to see me scooting away because she has bad eyesight, you know?
My glasses are kind of like hers.
Put them on.
You're gonna see nothing but glare.
You're her.
I am not.
All right, leave them on.
12. All right.
Anyway, so all right, so they have this day, right? They're hanging out with Kip and Chuck,
Yeah.
the mom's friend.
And after they skate, they eat their yogurt, they do all their little kid stuff. They go to Morgan's house for the second part of of her birthday celebration. And they have this sleepover. And when they're there, Morgan says that she wants to go to sleep. And it's really early. And so it's kind of weird, because like what little kid, what 12-year-old is going to want to go to sleep really early on their
Yeah,
birthday?
it's like when you have a sleepover with your grown ass friends, and then you're like, "What should we do, guys?" And it's like 7 o'clock at night, and you've all been working all day. You're like, "Oh, let's just go to bed."
Yeah, it was like that. So she wanted to go to sleep, and it was for a reason. Later they find out. I guess I'll tell the reason now, actually. So they had a couple plans for this little girl, you know.
Oh no!
Huh?
I said, "Oh no!"
Yeah. So their thing, I guess, like their plan A, they had a couple that didn't work out. So the reason that the little girl wanted to go to sleep so early was because she had told the other little girl, Anissa, that they were going to set an alarm for 2 in the morning, right? Which is why she wanted to go to sleep early. They're
Yeah.
going to set an alarm for 2 in the morning and connect her headphones so that only she would hear it and wake up. Then she was going to wake up Anissa, and they were going to use a knife on this little girl's neck.
Oh boy, how do you? And this is
In
what's crazy is they're 12.
12,
How are they coming up with this shit? And it's like, oh, I got an
I
idea.
guess, because of creepy pasta. So apparently they were on, I guess, like forums and stuff, and she had read that it's easier if you kill somebody while they're sleeping, like, and they don't like look you in the eye, like it's easier for you to do it, and blah blah blah. So I guess that's where she came up with that whole plan to do it in her sleep. Um,
That's so dark.
so yeah, so they actually did it. They woke up at that time. She woke up Anissa, and they decided, like, we're too tired. We'll just do it in the morning. Like, yeah,
Imagine, because they're still little kids.
because they're little kids. They wake up
They're
at
like,
2 and they're like
all
groggy.
groggy, and they're like, I don't want to
Mm,
do it. Let's just
yeah.
we'll do it later.
So they go back to sleep. The next morning,
I like the picture of the alarm going off, and then they're like, and they have the knife in their hand, or like doing that thing where they're like, and they're like kicking the blankets off, all
yeah,
pissed off.
pissed off. Okay, so the next morning, a police officer gets dispatched to some like video store. It's like a Blockbuster type of whatever, because the workers had called that, hey, like somebody changed our sign. Like the sign used to say "Hot Hits Sell," and somebody changed the sign a little bit to say something else.
What'd it say?
It did not say "Hot Hits," that's for sure.
What did it say?
What do you think it's?
It's not hot hit sell.
Mm-mm.
Hip hop sells, like dead poets, or dead presidents, or
No, no. They
New
changed the
Jack
word hit.
City. Huh?
They changed the word hits.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they added a T to the front and took out the H.
Hot this.
No, they took out the H.
Oh, okay. Oh, so hot hit sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good marketing. I mean, that probably got a lot of looks. It's probably like
Yeah. And then
that one like that one Predator on To Catch a Predator. How he's like, it gets reactions. Can I
so,
anal?
oh,
You know who I'm talking about?
Louise, yep. He thought it was funny. Okay, so the cop thinks, it's funny. He's gonna send a picture of the like sign to his wife and like whatever. As he's doing that, he gets a call that the body of a 12-year-old girl had been found like a mile and a half away from where he is.
Jeez Louise.
Um,
Imagine being that cop and you're over there just like, good. You're gonna send
mhm,
this like picture and your brain is like on hot tits, and then you get this call, somebody's, this
yeah.
body.
And they're like, she's here, a mile away from where you are, covered in stab wounds. And he's just like, okay. So goes over
19,
there.
right?
19.
19. Damn, that's a lot.
Yep.
Two is a lot.
Yeah. One's a lot. So he goes over there, and the little girl, she's alive. And she ends up telling the names, of the other two little girls. Are like, hey, this is who did it. We were at a sleepover. I don't know how she did it to like stay awake.
Conscious, but
Uh-huh.
also not go into shock.
And able to, like communicate, like, this is who did it to me. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, she got
Yeah,
stabbed 19 times and she's 12.
yeah, she's more alert than Jake Paul was after that fight.
Yep. And so the cops went over to Morgan's house. You've seen them, like, what's going on? The mom's like, no, I haven't seen them. They had breakfast and then they left. Haven't seen them since then.
And they
And
do they not know what's going on? Oh, I
no.
guess they don't want to tell them what's going on because then they're
Mm-mm.
like, fuck, I gotta hide these kids. I gotta get them somewhere.
Yeah, they don't know at this point, I'm pretty sure. So they get a hold of Anissa's mom, and they're like, hey, have you seen these girls? And she's like, no, I haven't seen them either. So at first, the cops are like, they could be hurt too, you know? Like, they could be bleeding somewhere. Like, the little girl could be confused. Like, maybe they're, thrown in the woods somewhere. So they started looking for them, dogs, helicopters, all these things. And they finally find them miles away. They were like on the other side of town. They're sitting like at the edge of the highway, like in some grass, and they're just like, there's blood on them. One of them is like covered in blood. The other one just has some blood on her shirt, and they take them in, obviously, right?
What were they doing? Just sitting there?
Mm-hmm. They were just sitting there. I guess they were, I don't know, waiting for Slenderman to come and pick them up.
I pick them up on a van, like a white van.
Yeah. So they did their whole thing in the morning, and they didn't find them until almost 3 p.m.
Jeez.
These little girls stabbed this child and then walked for 5 hours. Just like, I don't even know. I don't know if they like walked around everywhere, if they just like walked in a straight line and like went and sat down. Like, I don't know, but they walked for
Probably from
5 hours.
adrenaline.
Yeah. 5 hours, sat down, and then they found them, right? Obviously. So they take them into separate rooms to try to get like the stories and all that. At this point in Wisconsin, I don't know if it's like that still, but at the time, was this 2014, right?
Yeah.
They could be interrogated without a parent in the room at that age. So they were 12, which this became like a really controversial thing, because they were 12 years old. They went into the room. They like signed the paper saying like they didn't need legal, counsel or whatever. And then they just started talking. And people were like, they don't even know what they're signing, like they're little girls.
Yeah. But
Um,
then like you can make that argument. It was like, yeah, but they also stabbed the girl 19 times,
yeah,
like
yeah. So they start talking, like asking them questions, like what happened, blah, blah, blah. The little girl Morgan talks about how this whole thing was kind of Anissa's fault. Like, Anissa told me that we had to. Anissa gave me, like the knife, like Anissa, blah, blah, blah. And the other little girl, Anissa, is saying, Morgan said that we had to do this and Morgan this. But when you watch the interrogation, you can tell that one of them is scared and the other one is kind of just
the other one's just
okay.
like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very sociopath or psychopath actually.
Yeah. So Morgan is the one that is just kind of calm. Um, when you watch the interrogation, when they're not in the room, she's just like dancing around, she's like singing, she's like asking questions, and the other little girl's like scared. She's like sitting there with her
What
hands in
kind?
her lap.
I haven't seen the interrogation. I think I've seen bits of it, but not the whole thing. What kind of questions could she even be asking?
So she had asked at one point, like she asked if her friend was dead. She's like,
Oh,
"Oh, like what happened to Bella?" Because they used to call her Bella. Like, what happened to Bella? Is she dead? She had asked also, like, how far did we walk? Because like I'm not very athletic. Like I want to know how far. Like how far did we actually go?
that's a weird question.
Yeah, and she's asking like, "Are you going to put me in jail to rot and die?" Like it's weird. Like it's very
Yeah.
very weird.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Not as okay. I thought that she had asked like different kind of questions, like like why is the flag waving in the moon if there's no air like this? Like there's no air out there, so why is the flag just flapping around? That makes no sense.
it
We
doesn't.
didn't go to the moon. You mean to tell me that this whole thing and the little doom buggy that were riding around the moon fit in this little shuttle? Like, what were they riding with the steering wheel like this? Like, what happened? Like,
Hmm.
like not
No,
those. No.
no, she was asking questions about herself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like basically, what's gonna happen? Am I going to jail? Am I this and that? Which is weird for a 12-year-old to be asking this when like you're 12. You know,
Yeah.
like
Well,
you just did this like crazy thing, and you're not like sad. You're not scared. You're just kind of there.
yeah, and it's the thing that gets me is like, how far did we walk? Because I'm not very athletic, and the cops probably like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Hmm.
Like, you just
Yeah.
stabbed somebody.
Yep. And she says it like that too. Like, oh, the one like she says, do you know what happened to Bella? And he's like, I don't know. Like, is that your friend? She's like, she's the one that was stabbed. Like,
Yeah,
like she's the one that was stabbed
and
by
she's like,
you.
like, did she survive? I think they should have had like Jesse Ventura interrogate them. He'd be like, why don't you tell me what happened if you're such a patriot? Why don't I was a Navy SEAL? There I was wrestling Bob Backlund back in 1971, and Vince McMahon came up to me with the phone and he said, Hugo Chavez is on the phone for you. So I was like, that's not possible. He wasn't in power yet. This hasn't happened.
Wow. I
Well,
didn't
I
know.
guess I guess it's a good thing they didn't have Jesse Ventura like interrogating them, because that would have just been pure nonsense.
Well, imagine watching the interrogation with that
That would have been entertaining though. Like
voice.
they should just have like wrestlers, like not the new wrestlers, because the new wrestlers are kind of lame when it comes to promos, like old wrestlers interrogate, or be, there's good cop, bad cop,
Mhm.
and one of the cops was like, come on, man, like we just want to help you. Why don't you tell us what happened? We want to get this story straight. He's the good cop, and the bad cop comes in, and it's a Road Warrior Hawk, and he's like, well, it seems to me that it seems to be that you know exactly what happened. You know, and the cop's like,
It would be great.
just tell us what happened. And he's like, oh, what a rush.
Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna do that anytime soon,
Well,
but maybe
I know that sucks. Like, I can't believe that. Like, I think that it would be
you should put in a
a
request.
request. Like, hey,
Hmm.
can you get Road Warrior Hawk to interrogate people? And they're like, no, he died. Like back in 2012. Didn't know about that. No, I didn't hear.
No, no idea. I just watched him yesterday.
I
Um,
saw him the other day.
so the police start asking, like, or the guy that's interrogating Morgan at this point asked, like, did you guys kill her? And she's like, yeah, or they both said yeah. She's like, did you plan to kill her? And they both said yes. And he's like, okay, how long, were you planning on doing this? Like, how long, was the plan or whatever? And she said that they had been planning it for 6 months.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, they had been planning it for 6 months, and the little girl Morgan was like it was so hard not to tell anybody. Like you don't know how hard it was to like not bring it up in like conversation. She's like, because I wanted to be in jail by the time like the time came or whatever. that we were going to do it. She's like, I didn't want to hurt anybody, but it was necessary.
That's so bizarre because again, like these are little kids, and the
Mm-hmm.
type of like, I guess mental illness like knows no age, especially in the world of the internet. The internet, when you
Yep.
have because the internet is only for two things. I'm kidding. No, so you have you have all these people, right?
Uh-huh.
And I don't I don't know if this would have been a thing like in the 1980s, like little kids like getting these kind of ideas. Well, I guess that's not true. Maybe. But it's just so weird because they wouldn't have like if a kid's mentally ill, like he wouldn't, be able to look up a lot of things. Like, oh, how can you would have to go to the library and like, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. To me it's just like it's more of a modern thing. Like kids get
Mm-hmm.
more just like sick ideas because the internet is just, it's just there.
You can look at everything.
You can look up anything that your heart
Mm-hmm.
desires. What's
Like
that?
when I was in like fifth or sixth grade, definitely watching like videos that were not okay, like for kids to be watching, not like that, but like, you know, violent things. There was like these websites where like, oh, like look, you can see all this, and it wasn't me that was searching it. Like it would be these little kids at school that were obviously like my age, and they'd go onto this like website, and there's dead things and people
You
and
mean
all.
rotten.com?
It was best gore.
I'm not familiar with that. I just remember
Yeah,
rotten.com and it's like, oh,
I'm
you
sure.
want to see the body of Tupac? He was stabbed. Like what?
Um, it was gross. But like I was like in fifth and sixth grade, like seeing all this stuff. Like, can you imagine? Like what they're watching now.
Yeah, probably watching like, Bill Clinton speeches. And damn, when I was in the fifth and sixth grade, I was in El Salvador and we didn't have the internet in that country.
Mm. Well, you would see it in person.
Yeah, you could just go out there and see like, oh look, there's Tupac, he got stabbed.
Yeah, you would just walk outside.
There I was.
Um,
I just wanted tickets to the Altamont, so I was with the Hell's Angels as a security guard, and I was this close from the guy that got stabbed in the face. Anyway,
do,
so
do you think that's where like my because I've told you like a couple times that like this like these stories don't bother me, like the like graphic parts of it. Do you think it comes
probably
from just like being desensitized
I
at
think
such
that's
a
what it
young
is,
age?
just desensitized. Like
Yeah.
it's just like that barrier breaks, and
Oh,
that's
good.
like almost as shocking as a time when I found out that you're an actual bruja.
Oh, okay.
Like you have actual bruja blood, so you do all these. Yeah, it's fucking.
So then, um, the police asks why. Like, why were you
So
gonna
we're
do
moving
it?
on. Okay.
What do you want? What do you want to talk about?
This whole time when you're doing things like, oh, the egg cleanses and all that kind of stuff, and I told you like just witchcraft. Turns out you've been a witch this whole fucking time, and I didn't even know.
And you didn't even know? What do you mean?
Didn't even know that you were a dirty bruja poniéndole magia a los tacos. So no, so anyway, yeah, probably desensitized, and that's probably what happened. These kids were probably out there and looking up shit, and then they got ideas. And it's what's hard is nowadays I believe that it's harder to detect mental illness
Hmm.
because our society is now so desensitized to a lot of fucked up things. To when you had somebody like with shitty information or bad, like what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
people would be like, whoa, where did you get this idea, where did you come up with it, but now it's like, yeah, I've seen that movie, yeah, I've seen this online, yeah, I've seen that, it's just
See, but like
everywhere.
the whole like kids get all these ideas and like they do these things because of the internet and like whatever. Like I'm not doing that stuff. So I
Yeah,
think that it's like just I guess like kids seeing it, and then there's also like mental health illnesses. Like there's mental illnesses that are already there that maybe these things just like trigger something else, and then this happens. You know.
yeah. It's that whole thing with like there's a doctor, like we talked about them before. His name is Dr. Cash. And he was talking about the because he studied a lot of serial killers, and that was his job, is just to, counsel them and provide, he does studies and writes papers on them. And he was talking about that as human beings, we believe that we, like, I'm there, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write this down. No, so like as a society, let's say they're like,
Hmm.
man, this kid was beat as a kid, they treated him like a dog, and that's why he turned into a serial killer. When he says that, it's actually the opposite. It says human beings by nature are destructive and violent. He says that's why when you have babies, one of the first things you have to teach them basically is to not hit, because that's their
Hmm.
instinct. It's the hit, it's the hurt, the pinch, the
Bite.
bite,
Yeah.
and doing those things to hurt. And it says that through responsible parenting, you basically you unmake serial killers, if that makes sense. Like you teach
Yeah.
them like social graces, you teach them like this is not okay, this is not da, da,
Hmm.
da. But then when you have somebody that's um, doesn't receive that type of upbringing, it removes any type of barrier that this is not okay, so they enact out of their sheer nature. So
Yes.
when you have kids that have this type of unchecked, like mental illness, because something's going on. Like a lot of kids that
Hmm.
do commit violent crimes, one of the things that they do have in their history, it may not be a history of abuse. It's actually a history of neglect. Like they're not being watched. They're not
Yeah.
being, So what happens is that parental control is not there. So these kids are able to like exercise like their depravity. Basically, they're able to look
Hmm.
online, able to do all these things, and there's
Like
no one that,
Jeffrey Dahmer. His parents ignored
yeah.
the crap out of him all the time, and look at what he did.
Yeah, and that's what it is a parent's not there to notice, because a parent
Mhm.
is there to like correct when something's fucked up, right? Like if you see your kid.
In a way, though, I mean, like him, for example, again, like his dad literally gave him a room to like melt down roadkill. Like it wasn't even just like um neglect. Like the dad was there. He was kind of just very maybe like
Nonchalant when it can,
yeah, nonchalant about it, or just very like absent, but he was home sometimes, like whatever it was. It was just it
he
was
wasn't
weird, like that
he
situation.
wasn't I don't think he was like mentally and like emotionally present for him to be
No,
like maybe I shouldn't, give this to a kid, this could fuck him up. He just didn't care.
no, didn't care
So
because Jeffrey was kind of weird, so he was kind of like, oh, do
yeah.
this.
Well, again, he has his genetics, like that's a thing too, is that when you look at certain people, mental health is genetic. Like mental health is inherited. Think
Hmm.
about that. So there was a study that was formed where we should analyze these girls' parents. But there was like a study that was done where, let's say that a mom is pregnant, right? And she's being physically abused or verbally abused, and then she has a lot of stress. That stress hormone is actually felt by the baby. So what ends up happening is they begin to form patterns in the baby's brain,
Hmm.
to kind of like alleviate some of that stuff. And then when a kid's born, he's either like very skittish, like by nature, like, oh fuck, or he's very aggressive, like he's born
Yeah,
at,
that's why they
so
tell you not to be angry while you're pregnant.
yeah, because those type
Don't
of
get
things,
mad. Don't stress
don't get
out.
mad, don't
Whatever.
stress, relax. You have to have time, because yeah, those things are passed on. So with all these like murderers and psychopaths, you gotta like think like, fuck, let me take a look at your parents. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, this little girl, Morgan, apparently her family like life or her home life or whatever wasn't terrible. Um, I think that part of like the problem was, just like untreated mental health issues.
Yeah, no one
Um,
probably, yeah, probably neglect. No one noticed.
Also the school, a lot of people in that town, this is Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Hmm.
A lot of people in that area complain about the public school system and how the school, I guess like the whole, area or whatever, they just don't really care about the well-being of these students. And
Yeah.
so this little girl had like from what I've heard and read, this little girl had like showed up to school with a mallet. She had like blood on her at some point. Like the cops had interviewed her about that. She was seen a couple times like talking to herself and like said that it was like some character, you know, like some whatever, like made up thing. Um, and nobody really did anything about it. I don't think they like
Yeah.
contacted her parents or anything about that type of stuff, which like is kind of like you notice that, you know, about a kid. Like
Yeah.
you see a kid like talking to themselves and they're like, "Oh, it's my friend." Like that's gonna, you know, in your head you're like, "Is something wrong? Like are they okay?" And you start to like ask questions, but apparently these people at this school were kind of just like whatever. Like they just like brushed it off like it was nothing.
Yeah, and it's like that kid that shot up Virginia Tech, and he was that Asian kid,
Mhm.
and and when they interviewed well, first of all, the parents were basically protected by the Asian community, like they wouldn't allow them to like interview them, they wouldn't allow anything, and eventually they like secretly like flew him out of the country, like back to I think they were Korean if I remember correctly. But anyway, so some of the people that were like family friends, when they would ask him questions, because the neighbors were like, the neighbors were like, yeah, he was a good student, his parents were good, his parents were not. But a lot of the students that they interviewed, they're like, he would scream at himself in the parking lot, he would talk to people that wasn't there.
Mhm.
One time they saw him, I guess, rolling around like screaming, and these were things that were never dealt with. Like these
Yeah.
were, and they did contact the parents and they're like, hey, your son's over here needs that. But in that type of culture, it's seen as shameful. So like, nope,
Mhm.
brush it under the rug. All we care about is you're screaming at yourself, but are you getting good grades? That's all we really care about.
Yeah.
You know. So it's just a lot of things. It's just like like I said, neglect, like unchecked things. Like if this girl's like walking around, get her some help. And they
Mhm.
probably contacted the parents. And like I said, I'm just speculating because I don't know much about the parents. Like they don't. There's very little about them.
Yeah.
Um, so I wonder if they contact the parent. They're like, "Hey, why is your kid walking around with a mallet? Why is she covered in blood?" And they're like, "It's fine. She's role
They
playing."
did seem upset and were kind of like, you know, it doesn't seem like they'd be the type of kids that would do that. They couldn't really like believe, I guess, that they were the ones that ended up doing it. Which
Yeah,
like
if they pay
obviously like
attention, they'd be like, "Oh fuck yeah!"
yeah,
Like
during the
like
interrogation, during the interrogation and everything, like they, you know, obviously they admitted to it. So yeah, the cops like I guess like continued to kind of just like talk to both of them, and obviously they both admitted to it. Their like plan B, which I talked about how they had like a couple
yeah,
plans.
the plan A.
Plan B was that they were going to do it in the bathroom at the park. So they had been playing dress up. This is their little girls. They've been playing dress up at the house in the morning. And the little girl Morgan was like, "Hey, instead of doing it here, let's go to the park. We take her into like a bathroom stall and we'll do it there." Um, so or maybe it was Anissa that said it. I don't know. Either way, one of them said it. They ended up going to the park, going to the bathroom, and that little girl Anissa hit Peyton in the head, tried to like knock her out so that they could do it. Didn't hit her hard enough. Didn't work,
Yeah, because
obviously.
you're 12.
Yeah.
Like if
And
they're
so
girls, how hard can they hit you?
the little girl Peyton was kind of like, hello, like what's going on? They kind of were like, oops, sorry, you know, like they ran out of the bathroom, and Peyton was like, okay.
Did she
So
punch
then
her? Like what? What
no, like they didn't. She was really nice, that little girl. Like she was really nice. She was really like kind-hearted, apparently, and like she just didn't
no, no,
want.
no, no, no. I'm saying like when she tried to
Oh,
knock her
Anissa,
out, like did she punch her to knock her out? Like
I
what?
I don't know what she hit her with. I think
Oh,
she just tried to like jump on her and hit her in the head, and it
like try
just
to
didn't work.
RKO
Yeah,
out of
and
nowhere.
so Anissa suggests like let's go on a walk, you know, in the woods, and they're like, oh, we can go bird watching, right? And that's how they convince this little girl Peyton to go into the woods, and it wasn't deep in the woods
Shit.
either. She said it was kind of just like a little like group of trees or whatever.
Yeah.
That when they got to that area, we're supposed to be playing hide and seek. So Anissa like puts her, I guess, like on the ground, and she's like, "Hey, cover yourself with like sticks and leaves, and like she won't find you, right?" So Anissa and Morgan meet up, a little like area there, or whatever, and they decide that that's when they're gonna do it. So Morgan says to Anissa, "We'll be like lionesses and we'll hunt her like a zebra."
So gay.
She's 12. And
Yeah.
so she was like, okay, the other one, being a little girl also. So Morgan goes, jumps on her, on Peyton, and just starts stabbing everywhere. Um, and she says, like the little girl screaming and like whatever. Anissa's like, okay, that's enough. Morgan stops, gets up, and that Peyton is on the floor. And she's like, why? Like, why are you doing this? I can't
Jeez
see.
Louise.
Yeah. She's like,
It's
I
so
can't
dark.
see, blah, blah, blah. And the little girl's like, like we had to do it, like just, close your eyes. It'll be fine, whatever. So they took off. The little girl Peyton ends up like getting up or something and tries to walk, and she walks until she hits this like grassy little area, collapses there, is kind of just like laying there, and some biker came and found her, called the cops. That's when the whole thing, like starts.
It's so what's weird is just like the weird idea, like because I don't know if they said it during the interrogation or when it came out, because I remember that when this first came out and I heard about it, what I
Mhm.
heard the first time was a little girl was stabbed in the bathroom,
Yeah,
and that's when this whole thing was going down, and it's like she was stabbed and I heard she was stabbed to death. I heard she died. Then turned out she didn't die.
I think
Uh,
there's more than one.
yeah, so and yeah, and that's my theory is that there's more because there's been another case involving this Slender Man individual.
Yeah.
So much
Mhm.
that people are like, oh, it's probably a tulpa. Um, eh. Anyway, so yeah, and the thing, just the weird idea of as soon as we do this, he's gonna take us to live with him and do what? Like how
Mhm.
boring that would be. You're gonna be in a mansion and what watch birds? Like
Yeah. So their
that.
whole thing, when the police asked them, like, why'd you do it? They're like, oh, we had to do it because then he was going to come and kill our family. He's going to come and kill our family. It was necessary, like we had to do it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, he's going to let us go and live with him in his mansion. And if we kill this little girl, that's how we prove to him, our loyalty, or our, like, that's how we prove our worth, basically, to like go and live with this creature.
With this thing. So
Mhm.
weird. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the things that people found weird in the interrogation is that little girl Anissa said, like, I thought he was real.
So
And everyone's like, well, this was only a couple hours after you guys stabbed this little girl, like, how is it that now, just a couple hours later, you're like, oh, I thought he was real, like, blah, blah, blah. So, like, whose idea actually was it? Because Morgan says it was Anissa's idea the entire time, and Anissa was the one that introduced Slenderman to her. Anissa was the one that said, we have to do this, blah, blah, blah. But a couple hours after the stabbing, Anissa's like, given up already. Like, I thought
hmm,
he was real. Like, so was it the other little girl that was, pressuring her?
it's so weird and it's just damn, it's just so hard to imagine. Like, damn, these are little kids,
Hmm. They
and
didn't even go to jail.
yeah, they went to a mental health institute, right?
Yeah, I mean, for like 40 years or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Then
So
that girl
up,
Morgan, what?
I said updates.
Yeah.
So one of them became a mental health, top of the line assistant, and then they created like a new test for mental health for violent crimes, and then now is that not what happened?
No.
What
So
what happened? Is it not 40 years into the future?
the little girl Morgan ended up requesting that she be released. I guess, like, I don't know if like maybe monitored or something. And they approved it.
They
So she, yep.
so
So
she's
she
just
went into a group home with like an ankle monitor and stuff
should
like
have put
that.
that ankle monitor around her neck.
No point, because she cut it off and escaped.
Jeez. Well, I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, that's kind of on you.
Yeah. cut it off, escaped, and they ended up finding her. I think like not even 24 hours later. I think it was.
Yeah, because she's a dumbass.
Not even 24 hours later, and like there's like the body cam footage of the cops being like, "What did you do?" Like they didn't even know who she was.
Is that available for people?
It's on YouTube. They're like, "You're not wanted
Pull
for
it up.
murder, are
Beat
you?"
tips.
Oh, I can edit it in after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Are you missing from somewhere?
Okay, I'm 19.
So what's your last name?
I don't want to give you my name.
Okay, well then we're gonna arrest you and take you an ID. You're not wanted for murder, right?
Right.
I know what it is.
Please.
Well, now you did something wrong because it's come back no record on files, and that means you're lying to us. Look, I'm gonna give you one more chance.
I did something really wrong.
What? It's not that. It can't be that serious.
She doesn't know my real name. MORGANGANGYSER. Trust me, I didn't want to give it to you.
Okay.
You'll see why in a second.
Morgan, you guys are clear on record.
I hope she didn't commit a homicide.
Yeah. So
wow, what a video!
They find her with that man, and she's like, "Oh, this person doesn't know anything, has no idea what's going on, whatever." And I think they ended up taking her back to like the hospital, but they're going to allow her again to like request to be released again.
Yeah, so this is the broken system. We got to do a show on predators and all these kind of things again, and how the system fails.
Another one.
So yeah, no, it's so gross, and I could only imagine her like cutting it off, and then she's like, quickly to the Slender copter, and then she does a getaway on this giant like bald helicopter wearing a suit.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all that happened. So I mean, it's a lot more, there's a lot of more like details or whatever. But yeah, the little girl survived. That Peyton.
How old are they now?
Now, so they were 12 in 2014. So they're what, like 25?
Jeez Louise.
20, yes, something like that. 24, I don't know.
Yeah, one of them, Britney speared her hair.
Yeah, I don't know where they're getting these. I guess because she was in a group home.
Yeah, so probably Slender Man came in, like gave her the old buzz cut.
Yeah. But I guess since she was in a group home, like she had a little bit more access to like, I don't know,
knives.
Self-expression. I have no idea.
Damn, I wouldn't let her like look at knives in a magazine. Like, put that shit away.
How are you gonna put her in a house where there's a kitchen?
Yeah, and we're possibly she's writing letters to Slender Man. He's like, what you need to do is cut off that.
Maybe that's where she was going.
Yeah, to go visit him. Yeah, he lives in a trailer park.
Yeah.
And this episode is brought to you by Ghost Man. If you're out there, get your shit together and make more content. Groceries and Ghosts. A single man's journey into.
Not single.
Maybe he meant single, like by himself. Like when he's got alone time. Maybe. That's what he does. But yeah, Shadow Nation podcast on YouTube. Check out. I've been getting a kick out of listening to the old Ghostman and Demon Hunter show. Mm-hmm. Damn, like that show. That was a show. Anyway, what I know, I love it. It's just like anyway. So also brought to you by Paranormal Unveiled. We have Nathan, the Static Voices, and his book.
What's it going to be called today?
And his book called Downloading Slender Man's Nastiest Pictures. So go ahead, check that out. Link in the description. I know I have already downloaded my version. Also, a couple shout outs to our good friends at Render the Darkness. Check them out. It's all good stuff. I enjoy it. And also Dreamscape Chronicles. Check them out. Let them chronicle your dreams. I know I do. Check them out on Spotify. Link will also be in the description. Also by TeePublic. TeePublic.com. Go ahead and order some shitty art. I need to put some stuff out there. I have a lot of sketches. I've been doing the lazy thing and then not even bothering anymore to like clean them up. I'm like, well, here's a sketch. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I just need to reignite my passion. Maybe I need to go live with Slender Man.
Also, if people want to follow the Facebook, because we're almost at 10,000 followers.
Oh shit, yeah, the Facebook page. So go check us out. Interact. There's a lot of videos out there you'd probably enjoy and love. I know I enjoy and love them. So just go ahead and all that stuff. And that's it. So remember, guys, to always look both ways, especially if you find yourselves on Slenderman's nasty photo shoot.
Oh.